Hello Diamonds and welcome back to the DadSpeed Season 8 server. So I know that last episode we were kind of all over the place as I was getting used to everything that the server has to offer. So I decided that maybe I should do a bit more introduction to everything as I'm kind of finding everything out myself as well. So the initial place next to which we start, of course we start above the ground because the game kind of glitches you out when it's loading everything. But the building underneath, that is literally on the bottom of the land, it's actually quite nice. So it's all like kind of hidden in a really interesting way. You have like your living quarters, and it's pretty much like the Fallout itself is. So kind of unique. And yeah, we started on top of here, so there's kind of like second floor to look down. And yeah, many different rooms where you have all the beds. Of course, beds are not usable by individuals, so it's just for visuals. But yeah, everything is really well made and looks nice. But it seems that there's no electricity anymore, so not sure what happened to the power. But yeah, we seem to be fully out of it. Maybe there is generator in the back room, not sure. But yeah, anyway, so here we can also find the Discord link. And I tried to use it, it unfortunately said it's invalid. So happily one of the government, officials assisted me through the chat and gave me the correct link so I could get a bit more information, which of course I want to share as well. And yeah, simple rules is that no super skilling, which means there are really big limitations on the skills you can take. And you can only take 2 skills. So as I have eaten a little bit, I have 1.8, but it will take me like nearly 70 days to get anywhere. So I'm not sure what my skill will be. I will still look around for a few days before I even decide. But yeah, just kind of checking everything so we can see that we can collaborate, but we have to be separate, so no teaming. I mean, it's the same as we have on the Hornet as well. No resource sharing, same with Hornet as well. Must make and sell all your items. So this is a little bit different from Hornet because we do have some like extra bits, but yeah, it's kind of similar in many ways. Must buy all your inputs. Well, because there's no super skilling, we cannot really make ourselves. So the only way is to buy everything in. So makes sense. Gravity exists, no floating builds. It's very important part of the rules, and I wish people really followed it because I've seen so many floating areas and it's not the best thing to see. So because most of the time when I've been online, I'm literally cleaning up, so doing like all the wood pulp stuff, which I find kind of important because I want things to look nice. And yeah, there's a lot of rubbish everywhere. So yeah. And later we will check some mods as well, which is very important. Buy and sell with proper profit margin. It is important because on the Hornet, there's no such thing. Like people usually buy and sell exactly the same prices. So there's no profit for any people who want to deliver from like one place to another. So that's why things kind of get stagnant. And considering long-term server, then it's super important. No work parties, which of course is important. I think on the Hornet we can do them. And it's kind of, even contracts are allowed, but here it's like no work parties at all. And contracts must be demand payment. So it's kind of super important stuff. And yeah, Discord is supposed to have full lists. I'm not sure if I already went over it, and yeah, there's way too many things there. And yeah, then more rules that no checkerboard claims. The same applies on the Hornets. At least 1 claim separation. In the Hornet we have 2. No out on other stuff. Makes sense. Like you just keep things to yourself, so it's fully separated. No craving or trolling. This is, I think, on all servers. Claim your stuff. Very important because you don't want unclaimed stuff. Don't steal other stuff, of course. Like no one should. And no free stuff. that's probably a bit more controversial, but like considering items, yeah, it makes sense that there's nothing free. And again, they say that this got for a full list. So this is the basic rules, and of course there are many people who have failed at it, but yeah, we probably need to kind of look into it and see how it can be reported, because with floating lands you don't know who even owns it, because there's unknown land that is floating as well. So not sure how it will be checked, but yeah. So a happy vault is a safe vault. Report any suspicious behavior to your overseer. So yeah, it's so much Fallout in many different ways. So yeah, I haven't even played Fallout myself, but I kind of know the story. And yeah, here they also have the vault number 8 and what you can find in different floors. And yeah, I'm not sure if it's true, because honestly, it can be just a facade, because I can't see much, because most of the stuff is kind of hidden behind the doors. And yeah, exploration service tunnel, stuff only. So of course you can see doors are locked. We don't have ability to fly through to check what's there, so we have to take everything for granted. And yeah, so just notice boards and all the information. And yeah, pretty much quick information about everything that they have found and so on. So who wants to read it, just pause it for a second and you can go through. I don't want to spend too much time on everything. So let's continue. So now we are leaving. So vault number 151. Double check your radiation equipment. We don't have any, so nothing to really check. And yeah, sign that rules are on that side. Makes sense. Registration office. Those are of course locked because there's no official inside. There is also a special retail shop that is only for the officials, because we cannot see anything here, but it looks nice. And there's also service elevator for staff only, so we cannot go and check it. Not really sure if there is anything or not, but I mean, we can imagine there is. And then escape boards. I mean, they do sound fun, that escape board and stuff, but unless you use the unstuck command, they are not really the boards themselves. You have to pretty much go yourself. And yeah, I tend to go this way because writing down the command, it just takes too long time. But yeah, so once we get out, it's near where we started, so kind of makes sense. And we can then go and explore the city a bit. So yeah, 4 holes all next to each other. And yeah, the city is quite advanced. There are many different builds happening, and bridges that are done quite well. Everything is supported, which is super nice. And in the city, there are a lot of interesting builds that I wish I knew about even before, because there's so many ideas I can use from those in the Hornet as well. Maybe not on the government, as many of those builds are kind of unique and a bit different, and government needs to be kind of more simplistic and official. So maybe next season when I try to build something, like even the maze, maybe then I can utilize there something. Not sure yet. But let's see if we can find a way up. Happily people do tend to have staircases and stuff, so we can get up quickly. And we end up in the city central, which of course does make me talk a little about some of the laws. So one of those laws is that you can make 100 caps every day just by selling paper to the government offices, which are kind of scattered all around places. So if you go into world layers, districts, and which one was it? Government districts, perhaps? Yes. So we can see that there's a small land here, which is a place where you can sell the papers, and you can see 10 caps each. Most places that actually manufacture those sell them like for 0.45, so way cheaper, so you can make extreme profits. It's very important. And of course other government areas as well, like material requests. So there's a lot of recycling. There's another bigger city office. I mean, it's actually power plant. So yeah, they buy a lot of different things for that. So what is in this one? So government shops. So again, like different government stuff happening. Can we get to the shop? So this is again like the Grand Treasury, so buying the papers. Next to it is another government shop area, which is selling garbage. It's kind of sad, but yeah, so you can pretty much deliver it to different locations and all that. And yeah, like the city is quite big and really well built, and many buildings are super nice. I do like them. So yeah, so this is one thing. Actually, I can't remember if I have already sold today's papers or not. So I might try to do so. And if it gives me error, then that's why. Because you can only sell 10 papers per day, not more. And it kind of makes sense. Because you don't want people to make too much. And I usually don't buy more either, so kind of makes sense. So we bought 10 papers. And what you end up doing is just going to the government office and selling there, unless you make yourself, if you have like the paper milling and stuff. But yeah, it's just cheaper to go and deal with that this way. And yeah, then you come to the bank, in this case. It's also kind of unique style building. It has a lot of tables and stuff. And then you just sell here everything that you have. So let's see if I can sell now. It might say that I already have sold today, so let's see. Yeah, so because I did before restart yesterday, then it kind of shows up immediately that, sorry, you cannot do it because you have already sold 10, and otherwise you will get 100. So I will sell after the restarts, because, well, it's very soon, like in half an hour. It's 1 hour offset from the Hornet, but yeah, I will come here and sell it later. Then the buildings here, they're superior, like quite well built, a lot of details everywhere. I do like the concrete outside and all the other materials inside, making it very unique. That building over there, I also like the look of it, so that's why I made it as the thumbnail for this season. So maybe we can look around that. There's also one sphere that people are building, unique. And yeah, many other buildings, quite high rise here. It's quite well built. You can see different styles of materials and it matches up really well. So I do like it. And we can already see inside that like it's not all about the bricks. Like even though the walls are bricks, the floors are still lumber, which is nice. Many shops, of course. There's parking spaces, and those parking spaces are very simply made just with the line elements, and they kind of seem to work really well. And yeah, more buildings. It's also quite fancy in many different ways. I do like it. And there's smiley faces. Grumpy face, happy face, superior. And yeah, the place is full of all those lanterns, so kind of Halloweeny everywhere. Everything is super nice. I do love the way how people build stuff. So yeah, there's so much to see, and I'm never sure what I should look at, because literally when I come on, I focus mainly on like doing some cleanup and collecting enough money so I can buy myself a truck. Because trucks are quite expensive. So let's say if we check here, so I will put truck inside. You can see that the normal truck is 2,400 caps. So it's a lot. And the steam truck, which is honestly my favorite, is even 750. So it will literally take me at least a week to get it. It's a little bit sad, but I mean, it makes sense. So yeah, I will need to work hard to make it happen. So happily I did buy a wood cart for myself yesterday. So hopefully I can do some deliveries with that. So we'll see. And they also have community points, which is very unique element. And there's special law about that. So yeah. So we can maybe quickly look into some of the laws as well. Because there's quite few interesting ones that I noticed. So let me close this window and let's quickly check the laws. I hope I'm not standing in the walkthrough or anyone. And yeah, so there's constitution about a lot of different things, which is very common. So different directors, obviously. So it kind of makes sense. And yeah, I'm not even sure how many admins they have. You might see from the population side. So government officials are here. Admins, there's only 3 admins really. And who are those? Cousin Cletus, Dad, and Uncle Ulysses. I'm not sure if I pronounced it correct, but yeah. So those 3 are admins. And then they have a lot of government officials. I mean, a lot. I mean, just 6. And yeah, then the Shmuel was the one who was helping me when I first logged in to get everything sorted and the Discord link and all that. And yeah, so he seems to be director of infrastructure. So kind of nice. And yeah, so there's new groups, like new players. So players are the ones who have been online, like total online hours is less than or equal to 24. And of course, if you don't play 24/7, it will take days. Wealthy is anyone who has more than 20,000 caps, and there's 28 people on that group. Long term, you have to be at least half of the days active. And currently, the world age is already so high that it will take us many weeks to even get to the halfway. So let's say about 1.5 months on daily basis. And to be active, you have to be online at least half an hour, which is a little bit easier than with Hornet, but it still takes quite a bit of time. And yeah, of course, there's deserted. So if you haven't really been online for 42 days, it's extreme amounts. And people not abandoned and all that. So a lot of different groups. And in the legislation, we can also see all the laws, like this claiming, which is not allowed in certain areas unless you are official. It all makes sense. There's also power grid protection. So you cannot do any pickup unless certain things are fulfilled. Then really a lot of explanation on the taxing system. So you can easily find out what you have to do. And yeah, so it's kind of unique way how everything is calculated. Government job restrictions. And yeah, you cannot sell certain ingredients directly to the shop. So if you have bricks, pots, or something like that, and pottery, you cannot sell them to the government. It has to be done by other people, because otherwise you just make kind of profit, or just you don't utilize the skills properly. And that's exactly how those are set up. So trading is super important, and we might just end up being the delivery guy. So what else? Daily incentives. So as long as you're not abandoned, then many things do apply. So you have different amount of like different stats that you can apply. So yeah, I haven't fully really checked how it works, but it seems that there's a limit how much you can mine per day. So yeah, or make roads or whatnot. It's kind of keeping things flowing a bit longer. Of course, hunting everywhere, very important. And like to clean up stuff like getting the wood pulp and so on, you can do it anywhere, even in other people's area, which is kind of good. So yeah, and yeah, many laws about that. Then community reward points is like when you do certain tasks. Like if you chop the stump and you don't have composites or logging, then you get credit for that. So it's kind of important. So yeah, the CRPs I still have to find out how it fully works, but yeah. And you can exchange like pending ones for regular ones, and yeah, it's so complicated. So yeah, community points. And yeah, what else can we find? Pollution taxes, of course, and then basic tax. It's super complicated system they have put together, and yeah, it will take me hours to go through all of that. Quality of life laws and stuff like that, of course. So this is pretty much, yeah, hunt anywhere. And yeah, of course it does say that it's hunting itself. You have to be hunted for that, but not really. So I can pick up like dead carcasses anywhere, so not sure. Rubble, of course, is anywhere. You don't need to do much. Reclaim logs. It's kind of allowed stuff. Clean debris anywhere. Then, yeah, if you're unauthorized, you can still go for it. So it's kind of good in many ways. And yeah, placing vehicles on unknown land is allowed, which is common for most servers. And government workers can move vehicles. So this is in a way that you don't need to be admin to really access someone else's property. You just have the right immediately. So kind of nice on that side. So maybe a law very similar can be added to Hornet, where like maybe I can have access to any building going through the doors. So not sure if it's possible, but yeah, maybe it can be checked. And yeah, there's way too much extra stuff, economy stuff. So here's all the paper laws, and you can sell up to 10 papers per day. So this is this law here. Yeah, and it records all the paper you sell every day, all the time. And yeah, if you want to post work party and you're not government official, then you cannot do that. So that's that law. And yeah, many environment laws as well, like how do you actually get paid for cleaning up? Very important. So that's how I have made some of my money as well. And there's restrictions what plants and where you can take care of. So yeah, road laws really extensive. So like if you're used to Hornet laws, they cannot be compared. This one is way, way, way longer and more complicated. So yeah, and those are pretty much the laws that we have here. And now, actually, I would like to go and take a quick look on also the mods that we have on the Discords. Ooh, this is the current change point. Not sure if it's important, but anyway, let me quickly get everything ready on the Discord, and let's check the mods and information about those as well. So here is pretty much the mod info that is on the Discord. I have chopped out all the servers I'm in because, well, I have few work related ones there as well, and it's probably not something that I want to showcase. But yeah, anyway, there is XP benefits mods. So with this mod, based on all your food and housing score, you can actually get extra carry capacity. So, and also calorie capacity for your stomach. So yeah, gain extra strength and bigger stomach by living lavish and eating well. So it's very important, and the maximum is to pretty much double. And yeah, it would be kind of nice, instead of like 20 lumber pieces, you can take 40 lumber pieces, or that you can do double the work. It's yeah, and plus you can have more weight in your backpack as well. So yeah, there are many different things about this mod that I do like. Then they do have the changelog about mods, which is quite long list as well. Actually, I didn't want to resize. I'm just really clumsy. So maybe I should just make it wider then. And maybe it's easier to look at everything. So yeah. So full list for this season is the XP benefits that I just mentioned. They do give like samples as well. so you know exactly what's going on. Then they have specialists commands, which is very useful. Like you type in specialist and active, and you know exactly what specialities might be required to follow. So yeah, this is something I was recommended to check at the beginning as well. And yeah, it wasn't really clear enough for me to decide on any skill I definitely want to do, especially before making a building. Then dynamic stack limits. So it's again something very interesting. So if you put into the storage name something that ends with SL colon space and a number, then it will limit the stack size maximum to that number. So for example, if you want to make sure that you can have up to 5 of everything, you just make the limit 5. So it's really useful for like making upgrades and stuff. So you literally, you take one of the chests for all your upgrades, that is output, and you set it to 1, and then every single slot in that storage space will get filled, but only with 1 item. And therefore you don't really need to worry about anything. It's quite good. Vehicle speed modifiers, and yeah, just if you use different fuels, you will get a little bit bonus. Then crushed garbage, so they do recycle a lot of stuff, which is very useful. And it's also possible there to get like just food that has gone bad immediately into it, so you don't need to drop it on the ground and wait until it turns into anything else. So yeah, it's kind of good. And yeah, you can also burn it to make it into tailings. Also makes sense. Compost clay. So if you have fertilizer skill, and then you can make clay out of composts and some other elements, which is really good. So recipe is 1 crushed shale, 2 compost, and 1 dirt to make 3 clay. Very useful thing. Food composts, and yeah, you also have the 100 times setup to make it a bit quicker. Oil draining rate changes, so it's not the same as the actual game, the vanilla. So it's capped at 2 barrels per minute, so you can't go over that, which is kind of good. CO2 absorption is double, so you don't need to worry too much about sea level rising. Also good. And many recipe changes. So Ashlar requires reinforced concrete instead of steel bars, so we just keep using older stuff, more likely. Advanced melting needs ceramic mold, which is new thing. Then crushed rock is more needed for asphalt concrete. Very, very good, because then more roads, like more demand for everything. Board recipe will be part of the logging skill, not the carpentry skill, because then the logging people who chop down the trees can actually make the boards and sell everything to the carpenters who make lumber. Because lumber now will require the boards instead of the hewn, if I remember correctly, or something like that. Composites will take more raw logs and more lumber, very important, and 1 oil, which is good. Electronics need cotton fabric, so all the wiring will be insulated now. And yeah, some recipe changes for also the turbines and solar generators. Industry increased costs to make pretty much everything, very important. Masonry has some stuff, so natural fibers, you need more to make your mortar. It's good. Milling has some changes. Sunflower seed oil takes now less seeds, which is good, because I think it was kind of unbalanced in the vanilla. Oil draining, yeah, you need iron plates instead of iron bar. It kind of makes sense because it's kind of curved, not just a chunk of metal. Smelting has different changes, and yeah, you need to have different materials like ceramic molds or static clay. carpets are more expensive, and yeah, many other changes. So yeah, it's really long list. And the other modes that are being used is EM Framework, Neat Toolbox, Polychrome. So Polychrome has a lot of colorful trucks. So in this one, they don't really use on the blocks. So the buildings still have like the default colors, but they do use on like the trucks. And it's another one that is kind of interesting to look into. So yeah, it uses like the colored powders, which is actually on the mod page. And it's something that is supposed to really happen with update 10. And they're kind of preparing for it. So very interesting stuff. And yeah, Snaps of Furniture M3. This mod I didn't really check out anything, so not sure. And yeah, then more detailed information about like how everything works for like the demographics and stuff. Like if you want to find out the specialists. So for example, they did the example with the specialists and everyone. And it shows exactly like one advanced smelter at that moment, one logger, one smelter, and 26 people in general. So self-improvement is for everyone. So kind of good. And yeah, the setup limit, they kind of mention again, like you take this fridge, set up the SL30 at the end, and you can only have 30 food in each slot. So yeah, those are pretty much all the modes and stuff that is available on the server. So anyone who's interested to play around with all those limitations and unique things, feel free to join it, and just remember to respect everyone else. Don't do anything that is against the rules, and everything will be totally fine. So yeah, it's kind of interesting place, and yeah, I will spend more days to discover everything, as even through I just went through all those laws and regulations and everything. Not everything is clear, and yeah, and this video is already way too long. It's like 30 minutes already, so yeah, I hope it gave enough information on what the server really holds within, and hopefully starting from the next episode we can actually start also preparing our building, so we can get some housing score and kind of get closer to finding a good skill for us. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.